So first of all, welcome Emma, welcome Dana, welcome Susan. Thank you so much for joining me. I am ever grateful to be able to share this space, create this sacred space for us to sink into the heart space. I need that. I get way too into my head worrying about things. And so if you want to know why I started this, this is why. We often teach or feel guided to share with others what we really need most ourselves. And for me, I definitely am working on not only aging backwards, and by that, what I mean is I came in as a very sober, somber child and feeling somehow responsible to pray away the problems of the world, to pray the hostages out of Iran. Yes, I'm dating myself. And I have spent my life, it's been a journey of peeling off the layers of the weight of the world and coming to the realization that the only way I can help anyone else is by truly inviting in and embodying the highest vibration of what our life has to offer. And for me, that is connecting to Creator. Oh, here, Catalina's here. Pardon me while I admit someone. Welcome, Catalina. Welcome. So, as I was saying, connecting with the Creator, when we really contemplate what that means, for me, there is no separation between the Creator, however you define it, perceive it, or experience it. There is no separation between the Creator and the created. The Bible tells us, and I am not a Bible quoter or a Bible toter, but every once in a while these verses come back in and they resonate as truth. The heavens declare the glory. Well, planets are also created, and the orbital frequencies and movement of the planets in the heaven dwell within us too. So just as we cannot separate the creator from the created, and to use Nancy, my friend's favorite term, the creator exists in all of the subatomic, supersonic spaces within us and within the heavens. And that is really my mission, if you will, or what I feel called to share in these gatherings, because I love astrology. It's my language, but and a language I love to share. And I'm finding, more and more ways to be able to express it so that others can experience the energy of the planets without feeling overwhelmed, because there's a lot to the language. It's multidimensional, multifaceted. But the shortcut is to actually experience the messages of the planets by way of sound. So we can bypass the analytical process of intellectual understanding of the planets when we simply create that space, which we're going to do shortly, and perceive our energy field as that transmitter and receiver of all the energy around us. So, having said that, I am going to introduce, before we get into that sacred space and I kind of enter that altered space with you, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the frequencies I'm going to play for you today. Because the last time I created the sacred space first, And then I spoke about the planets and I found that I was calling, I wanted to say Venus and I was saying Mercury. So I want to make sure I carry the message out correctly, and then we're going to have the experience of the sounds. Today, the frequencies that popped out as of 11 o'clock today, we have Sun in Scorpio, Saturn in Aquarius, and the planet Uranus in Taurus. So with the Sun in Scorpio, there's this deep inner well of emotions and shadow work that is requiring us to transform any fear into strength. Scorpio has an iron will, and we can use this in a high vibration or a low vibration way, as with all of the energies. Now, Saturn in Aquarius is actually forming a square to the sun. And if you consider, so imagine we have the sun on one side, and opposite it, we have Uranus over here. So this is a 180 degree in opposition. And then Saturn is forming a 90-degree angle. And this is what we call a T-square. So T-squares do create tension, but the tension is there to motivate us to find the resolution. And it's very similar to a Mack truck at a four-way stop sign. The change is going to occur, the resolution will, but it feels like it's such a slow process because that Mack truck inches forward and then inches back and then inches forward and back, and each angle gives it a new perspective. Oh, there's that I hadn't seen or felt. Oh, there's, and so front view, rear view, little by little by little, and then it navigates, it negotiates that turn, and it can just move straight ahead. So this is kind of what we are all experiencing until these energies resolve. And we have been going through the Saturn-Uranus square, which is structures, current structures and status quo at cross purposes with the planet that wants to liberate us. And Uranus in Taurus is very interesting and a paradox because Uranus wants to break through status quo, and Taurus, the sign in which it sits, likes stability. It's a fixed sign and it doesn't like change. It's the bull in its pasture, very comfortable, very serene. It loves its beautiful earthly surroundings. And so the high vibration of Uranus and Taurus is tapping into revolutionary ways to build security. Taurus is our self-worth and our net worth, but they don't have to, we should never, don't like to use the word should, but it's not about equating or defining our self-worth by our net worth. It's actually, and I feel like this is what Uranus is doing, it's breaking us free of the old ways of building net worth and turning within to really build and value our own self-worth. And for me, and the reason I have these gatherings is so that we can get in the habit of connecting to and deriving our self-worth from within, from the connection that we feel within, and perceiving our world more intuitively than intellectually. So I'm sure I had a lot more in my notes, but I'm going to leave it there. Does anybody have any question or comments before I shift us into our quiet space? Yeah. Does that, go ahead.
I found interesting this idea of the T, was it?
The T-square?
Yeah, maybe you can explain because I'm not really familiar with astrology, but I thought that I hear many times in astrology that there are times when the energy is very hard to push and you feel like walking to mud, like things are really difficult. Um, October was a very difficult month for me. I got burned. I went through all kinds of very difficult experiences. I was sick a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
got sick again. I have to push and push again, and I thought I was gonna have vacation, but I ended up just being having to leave work because I could not even walk. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to see how I return to a place where I feel safe, because after all
Yes,
of this, I feel like my energy now is like retrieving, like not
constricted.
feeling. Yeah, I'm not expanding because I don't feel like I went for a dance class yesterday for the first time in this year, and I felt like, man, I need more of that, because for the
Mm.
first time I felt like I can move, but otherwise
Yeah,
I've been very, yeah, like this after the accident.
that I understand. Well, in general, what I can say about the energies in October is that we had a lot of retrograde planets. When planets are retrograde, from Earth's perspective, it feels like the planets are moving backwards instead of forwards. And Mercury has gone direct. Jupiter has now gone direct. I think it was the 18th of this month. But Mercury is still in shadow, and Mercury is forming a square to Pluto. Any squares, these squares, like the T square that I was describing, again, it is like that Mack truck. Consider us as the Mack truck, the driver. We just want to move straight ahead without restriction. But we're these, the genie in the bottle. And so we're in a tight corner. We want to expand, we want to let the genie out. But the environment, at least planetary environment, is, we feel the restriction from within. It's like an inner conflict because, as I said, the planets, their energies dwell inside us, as above, so below, as within, so without. And so you probably, if you are, and we all are empaths, we pick up on these energies. But as I said, it's because they're not just outside of us, they live inside of us. And even if we don't understand the language, we are living out our astrology. And my work is about helping to harmonize the personal astrology of the individual so that you can resolve it harmoniously and feel calm and centered inside, grounded and present in your body, while there may be conflict or drama happening outside of you, but you know you're able to carry yourself forth with grace and harmony. So that is the goal. And for these gatherings, again, that is the purpose. Now I'm only bringing in three of the planetary cycles or energies, because there's a lot going on. But the purpose of this isn't really so much an astrology lesson as it is to just get, I hope I answered your question, Catalina. I mean, so without looking at your chart to know specifically what's happening for you, for your sun, your moon, and other personal planets, um, in general, the retrograde that we perceive and that we feel, the retrograde motion of the planets makes us feel like we need to go in. We may want to move, but they're saying, no, it's time to look inside, time not to move, but to, tune in to what is happening inside of us. And again, it's intuition versus the intellectual analytical approach to what's happening. So, yeah, enough said about that. So let's move on and create our sacred space. So I'm going to invite you now just to close your eyes, and let's take a few cleansing breaths, breathing into the belly, breathing in infinite possibilities, unconditional love, And breathing in this single pointed moment, exhaling all resistance, fear, worry, or doubt. And if you're in a place where you can sit with your spine erect and feet flat on the floor, I invite you to do that. Bring your attention to the energy center just below the navel. See the orb of light pulsating and growing. Drop a grounding cord from the base of your spine or from this Dantian center just below the navel, deep into the heart of Mother Earth. Breathe in divine Mother Earth energies into the Dantian. Hold and build the light and frequency there. Exhale up through the heart and the higher chakras back up to Creator Father God in the high heavenly dimensions. Now breathe in Creator Father God, high heavenly dimensions, into the heart space. Hold and build that light and frequency. Exhale down through the Dantian and lower chakras back down to the heart of Mother Earth. On the next inhale, breathe in Mother Earth energies into the Dantian and high Creator Father God energies into the heart space. Hold and build the light and frequency in these energy centers. Exhale, merging the two together, forming one column of light. And on the next inhale, breathe in Mother Earth and high Creator Father God energies into this column of light. Hold and build the light and frequency, extending this column down deep into the earth, high into the heavens, and around your body and energy field. Now exhale in all directions back into the unified field. Now I invite you to create a sphere of energy around your body and energy field. And you can see Saint Germain's violet flame or Archangel Michael's alchemical ring of fire around the rim, protecting you from any and all lower vibrational forces that would seek to bring you down or to cause you to doubt, worry, or fear. And this, whether it's the violet flame or the alchemical ring of fire, it is transmuting and transforming all lower vibrational frequencies across all time, space, and dimensions. And I also like to see Archangel Michael's sword in front of me laid down, energetically letting others know that I am a peaceful warrior of divine love, light, and harmony. And I invite you now to draw your energy, your focus to the heart center. Visualize a shaft of light moving out from your heart to the left and right sides, the front and back sides, and the above and below sides of this sphere. You may also see the light bursting out in all directions like a starburst out from your heart center, just blasting through any remaining or residual worry, fear, or doubt. And in this space, see yourself in the center of this sphere, calm, serene, grounded in your energy field. And there's living light all around you in this sphere. It's vibrant, it's breathing, it's pulsating, it's alive. And it is receiving and transmitting the highest vibration and outcome for you at this time, at this present moment, And as you embody the high vibration of the highest vibrational outcome and awareness for yourself, you are inviting others to feel, to pick up on that high vibrational outcome and awareness. For all who are open to it, this is what's available. And we close this visualization prayer by saying, as a sovereign being of divine love and light, and as a sovereign citizen of sacred earth and the cosmos, I trust that this is so, and so it is. So as we stay focused on this present moment, I'm going to play these frequencies for you: Saturn, Sun, and Uranus. And I invite you to just stay open to anything that you may see, anything that you may hear or feel. And if nothing extraordinary or noticeable happens now, I invite you to just expect and trust with the wonder of a child. Know that the divine is in dialogue with you. It lives within you, and you will receive, between now and the next time we meet, you will receive the guidance and the communication that you need. So we just send out our intentions on the waves of sound, trusting that the Creator is taking care of it and managing it now. We don't have to think about it anymore. And just take a few more breaths, come back into your body. Centered, grounded, safe in this present moment, tuning into the safety and security that our earth provides, the stability of earth, and knowing that as we stay in our own sacred space and we create that on a daily basis, we are in constant dialogue. If we ask, it's not going to be forced upon us. But the more that we can perceive this conversation, vibrational conversation, whether we hear with our audible, with our physical ears or not, this conversation is always available to us. So, with that in mind, when I create these replays, so that you can remember and enter that space of remembrance. All right, and I would invite you now, if you would, to unmute and sing Om with me 3 times, and then we'll have optional sharing. I'd really love to get your feedback. It helps me greatly. Nice deep breath in. Beautiful. And a second time. Beautiful. And one last time. Breathe in. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you.
You are very welcome, Emma. Does anyone have any insights, feedback, requests? I'm all ears. I'm working on fine
Free
tuning.
bird.
Free bird.
I have just an general observation. I've seen a lot of things bubble up this month for people. Fear and doubt and chaos and just a lot. And I haven't been experiencing that at all. I've been experiencing the whole month this just very profound stability and peace.
Good.
And maybe that's, my sun is in Scorpio, my birthday's next week, my moon is in Taurus, so there's this, right? Resonance. So it's really interesting how we look at, because this came up for me in just a really huge way yesterday, that it's all about your perspective and where you sit.
Really?
And what we see someone else bringing into a situation is not necessarily ours, and just because it's different doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that this is wrong or bad. It's just different based on where we sit.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I would like to share something about those energies since, you and I have similar, I don't have moon in Taurus, but the Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus. This is from Ellie Mae Astrology. She looks at the benefits of the squares. And of course, I am always looking for the highest vibration, and I want to share that and encourage that for others. But I wanted to share with you what she says about these squares. It's really interesting, and this will hopefully resonate with you, Susan. So, the benefit of Scorpio to Aquarius: deep connection to humanity, transforming people by the masses, destroying and transforming the dynamic of society, passionate connection to unique and innovative thoughts to benefit humanity, deep passion for change and reform, sexual innovation and transformation. I actually see this as the transformation of I mean, the sexual abuse that has come to the public eye that's been going on for so long. That, I believe, is in deep transformation and healing. It has to come out in order to be healed. And then she goes on to say, healing others, deep and thorough scientific analysis, uncovering what is hidden. So that's Scorpio and Aquarius. And then we have Taurus and Aquarius. Innovation and change on the way to create material things, unique creations for profit, originality and practicality, originality in practicality, scientific and practical step-by-step approach, detached and objective evaluation using the five senses, innovative way to building towards material wealth. So I thought, and did any of that ring a bell?
Lots of bell ringing.
Good, and it's recorded so you can go back and listen to it. But thank you for sharing that. Really important. That's why, staying centered, grounded. Anyone else?
I love the doing the on. And I heard from a friend who did the yoga training that part of the training was doing sounds. So I'm not used to it. But sometimes when I go walking in the woods or around and I start making like sounds like, whoa, and it's very relieving. I mean,
It
it's so
is.
releasing. And I wish I do it more because people may think she's crazy. Some people look at me like, but I laughed a lot about it. Because I think it's just so good for you. But
It is.
I wish I had some kind of guidance because I just making sounds, but I don't know what they do to me. But Om together is beautiful, and when I just making like I feel good.
Then do it. See, anything that, if it feels good, you're on the right track.
Yes.
We have to graduate out of this must suffer in order to be, in order to heal in some way. And
Yeah. Oh my gosh, am I doing it the right way? Maybe I made a
yeah,
mistake. What if I?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's time to embrace our imperfection and make a joyful noise. That's another,
hmm
from my catechism way back. Make a joyful noise. Get out of the analytical mind. We in Western society are so, we've been indoctrinated in this mindset of, well, if you haven't studied music, don't pick up an instrument. If you haven't learned how to sing, don't even bother singing, and this is so wrong. It's what connects us with our soul. So sing, laugh at yourself. That's another thing. I mean, it took me a very long time to be able to laugh at myself. And we need that now more than ever because life is perfectly imperfect. Anyway,
I love what you said, Catalina. It brought up something for me, and that is because we talk in the garden a lot about language and meaning. And it's really interesting, to think about the tones that come out in a word that isn't something that is attached to great meaning. So when we just utter a tone, there's the purity of that tone. And to some extent, and it gives us feeling in our hearts. It's really ancient. It predates storytelling. And so, and when we are speaking words out loud, they're tones, they're all tones. But they're tones that we've attached meaning to. And so because we have attached meaning to them, they're subject to misinterpretation, as opposed to just the tone of it. It's why you can take one phrase and say it with different tones and get different feelings from it.
Mhm.
Because the tone has the heart feel in it. It has that vibration in it, as opposed to the meaning of the word that's subject to that misinterpretation. And yet, if we don't share whatever it is, whatever is the tone that we want to utter, if we hold it back, then we're not connecting at that heart level. So no matter what the tone is that wants to come out, whether it's a phrase, a word, a sentence, an om, or just something that's the joyful noise, I feel like that utterance wants to come out and the rest of us want to hear it because we want to have that heart connection. It's this thing that people are so sorely missing. So yeah, I'm a big fan of just let it all out.
Yeah, and in nature, as you're taking these walks, just letting those tones out, I perceive that as communicating with the trees all around you, with the birds,
Yes.
and the whole elemental kingdom, the nature kingdom. Um, Quick story: when I was in Nashville and I did a health fair, I was doing providing an acutonics using the high vibration tuning forks in the field of this gentleman. His name is Forrest Green. This is in my book, so he won't care. um, but as I was working with the frequencies, he very intuitive. He was seeing the elementals gathering around, and they were talking amongst themselves, saying, "Oh, this is interesting. What's going on?" And he was telling me this as I'm, doing the work, creating the space. Finish up this session, and they're still talking to him. And I played one of the tones, Sedna, and the leader of the clan said, "Oh, that's the vibration our ancestors used."
Mm.
And he said, "This is a good use of technology."
Oh, I got
So,
chills up and down my spine.
so I wanted to share that story because Uranus and Taurus, technology and nature, technology in nature, it's changing from, I feel like the real, true, authentic technology is inside of us. It is our very nature. It is how we were created, and that there is a super duper scientific intelligence that doesn't require an intellectual level of a certain level of advancement, whatever. It is being in nature and perceiving intuitively. I wish I could say that I saw the elementals and that I heard that message, but like Emma, I got the goosebumps and I knew instantly that he saw and heard them and that they were there and they saw and heard what was happening. I trust that. That is the kind of experience that I feel like we are moving into. The
Yes.
veils are being lifted, and this kind of communication is available to us all the time. And that's why, again, I want to hold these gatherings so that we can practice. All right. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd just like to say something without going into a lot of details, but the last, probably since mid-September on up until last week, the craziest shit has been happening, or shift has been happening. Just in my immediate world, like all the drama going on at work and stuff, there's times at work where I just have to stop and I just go, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, just to get myself grounded and back in the present moment. Because I feel like the biggest thing I'm learning is, or being shown, is to understand and really be aware of what it is that is mine, what I'm feeling, what I'm sensing, so that I'm able to stay better grounded. If I keep, as an empath or highly sensitive person, keep doing what I've done all these years, I can't help myself or anybody else. So
Exactly.
it's been a very interesting, I mean, I tripped and fell. I thought I busted my arm, my left arm. Most of it was bruised, and I had this huge lump. And then a week later, I got stung by a yellow jacket that got infected. That's what I mean. Just
Wow.
it feels like these different things are happening. Yeah, almost I feel like my guides, my higher self, whoever it is trying to get my attention. They're like, "Hey, we're trying to talk to you here. Come on." Snap out of it. So where I live, it's almost like living in a state park. So I go out for walks, and I've just been talking. I just talk to my guides or whoever I feel is there with me, whether it's the elementals or whoever. And it's been so freeing because I've been talking like really loud and just letting it all like out.
Yeah.
And I've been like, it's like I'm literally having a conversation like we are right now. And it's been so freeing. It's like, I feel like when I come back into my home, I left all the other stuff out, and that
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. I
That's the
grew, I
clearing.
evolved. Yes, yes. I
That's
feel more like me.
yeah, yeah. It's such a good point, Emma, and it is so necessary that this is what it comes back to what I was saying at the beginning, about when I was a child, being so serious and taking on all of the problems I saw in the world and wanting to pray them away. But
Yeah.
we as empaths, as people with compassion for all living beings, we want the suffering just to stop. We just want it to go away. But we cannot, as much as we want to, throw our arms around the world and solve every individual's problems. We can't take them on.
Right.
It's just like the person in the airplane, if you're out of oxygen, you got to put your oxygen mask on before you can help the person next to you. You can't give to another person what you do not own yourself. And so these gatherings are for us to refill the tank, to remind ourselves and remember who we are, creator created. That dialogue, that communication is always available to us. It's just remembering. And the sound, it's my intention that the sound activates that memory in the cells of our body. It goes deep. It bypasses the intellectual. It just goes in, it activates, and so see what unfolds now. It's just a snippet, it's just a taste. But Catalina, getting back to your remark about what you've been experiencing, there is a personal signature that we all carry. And as the heavens continue to move and the planetary cycles form these angles, which can be either crossed purposes or harmonious, and where there's ebb and flow and harmony, and we just do things so easily and we feel that support, or we are bucking up against the system or what the current energies, and it all depends on our signature, and then of course how we work with it and go from there. So anyway, I would be happy to have a conversation about that with you. Thank you, Emma, for sharing. So important.
Sure. I
Thank you,
think one of the,
everyone.
I just
Yeah.
want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
I think one of the most important things that I've learned through the last year is that we all are here to experience something. And if I keep taking on someone else's stuff, they're not able to experience what they need to experience in order to
Oh,
help
thank
them
you. So
evolve
true.
and grow.
Yes.
So
Bingo.
that's helped me a lot. Yes.
You are helping others by helping yourself. Thank you. Best point, and we can end there.
Okay. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you all very much. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next time. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you very much. Namaste, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.